I did it. Hello, live people.
Hello.
Hello.
If live you
Hello,
be.
nerds.
hmm
Did the incomparable thing grab it and post it, or is it slightly
It
delayed?
takes a minute for that to happen.
Well, I'm gonna post it now. That's
You
the kind of
go
person
ahead.
I am.
Full service.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, I just
Where's
until someone
the
says they hear audio and video,
comments?
I'm never sure if anything's working.
That's right. Comments and reactions. There's a hello nerds in there from Tony.
That's from me though.
Tony's teaching
So
tips with
you
Tony
can trust
Sindelar
that could
by
be anybody.
by Tony.
Yeah.
Teaching tips by Tony. With Tony for Tony.
Okay. So I've got
So
to
if
work
I
on my
recall
branding.
correctly, last time we nearly died.
Mm-hmm.
You did almost get killed by I forget if it was an ooze or a pudding. It was some kind
Pudding.
of black pudding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did anyone get their weapon completely ruined by it? I forget.
Mine is down 2. I have a short
That's
sword -2 now.
that is significantly bad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not great.
You guys
I mean,
gotta get a
assuming
magic weapon.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, that happened.
Mm.
The adventure has barely started. You got your briefing from the mayor of Little Lockford, one Braith Broadfoot. You got to go to Little Lockford, which you have not technically done yet. And you're trying to find a security key to deactivate all of the automatons that are roving over Little Lockford, hurting the innocent people who have been pushed out of town. That's your unofficial recap before I do the official recap in the episode.
Right.
Any questions about what you're doing, why you're doing it, etc.? I believe Chip's character is the only one that speaks Gnomish, which will only be relevant for a short time longer. But yeah,
I am down to 3 hit points. Just
and I'm down to
let everybody
13.
know, so.
Definitely down.
And
I
better.
can help.
you can help. I'm going to suggest that you take a short rest in the imminent future before incurring the wrath of things. You can do that in the episode, right?
Sure.
Mhm.
All right. We don't know if the audio and video is working. We assume it is.
No secret agent to tell us.
I guess. Our system relies heavily on one individual.
Let's see. I mean, okay, let's see.
All right.
We have audio and video.
Okay, that's me in another
That
window.
was Tony
isn't it?
talking in another window in the past. Oh,
In the past.
for us, future for
Oh.
them. Right? That's how that works, right?
All
Okay.
right. I don't know. And everyone is recording, and everything is great. I've been recording for 4 minutes. Let's do the
Everything
thing.
is great. Yeah.
Spell says hello, so hopefully Spell saying that because
Yeah.
they hear our voices
Listener
and not
Seb.
just shouting into the abyss. Welcome back to Total Party Kill. My name is Tony Sindelar, and today I'll be your dungeon master. I'm also a dungeon master to several players as we continue to navigate the adventure Keys from the Golden Vault: Tockworth's Clockwork. A name I hope to be able to say with confidence by the end of the adventure. Allow me to introduce our players. They will introduce their characters, and then we will jump right into things. First up, it's Aline Sims. Welcome back, Aline.
Hello, I am playing Jasper the Tabaxi monk, who is in sorry shape with a sorry short sword. So everybody's sorry right now.
Yep.
My
Real
pronouns
Canadian
are she,
action.
her.
Sorry.
No, I forgot to say. Jasper and I both use she, her pronouns.
Thank you, Aline. Next up, it's Chips on Earth. Welcome back, Chip.
Hi, I use he, him pronouns, and so does Josh Molis, the chaotic good youth pastor with a flair for, well, he used to like pudding, but not anymore.
Mhm. Also joining us, it's Monty Ashley.
Hi, it's me, Monty Ashley. I use he, him pronouns, and so does my character, who is Krong, a bugbear. Krong used to be a nightmare monster who hid under children's beds and may have eaten some, and now he's a gentleman thief.
Mm. And last, certainly not least, rounding out our quartet here, it's Jason Snell.
Why do I have to follow Krong? Krong is like the breakout character of Total Party Kill now. All right, or at least maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just the one big Krong fan, but I am. I'm a Krong fan. I am playing Ravel. He is a Triton Druid, which means he's sort of a fish man. Grew up on the mean streets of Little Ocean in Baldur's Gate, and because he's a Circle of the Moon druid, you know what that means. He's a wild shaper, and he likes to be wolves and sometimes lions, and there's shenanigans. So that's Ravel. I don't know what he's in it for the kicks, man.
Yeah. You're all operatives for the secret society, the Society with Secrets, the Golden Vault, operatives known as keys. And you are sent out into the world to right various wrongs, to, sort out injustices and just try and just put a little bit of a thumb on the scale to make the world just a little bit a better of a place than it would be without the existence of the Golden Vault. And your particular mission today has taken you into the Underdark. There's trouble in the Underdark. The gnomish settlement of Little Lockford has been taken over by their own security chief, who has sicked an army of automatons on the people of Little Lockford. Many of the people of Little Lockford have died. The rest have fled the town and live in kind of a refugee camp, several tunnels away from what was once a shining gnome metropolis. Their mission: make their way into Little Lockford, gain control of the security key, and using that security key, deactivate all of the Clockwork automatons plaguing Little Lockford. On their way to Little Lockford, our adventurers were basically waylaid by a black pudding, which did a lot of trouble to them, but they have survived. Technically, no one has died, though some people are real hurting. And as you were kind of regrouping there, a gnomish military-looking fellow kind of tromped out of the darkness and kind of looked at all of you, and then speaking in gnomish asked, "You have some trouble there?" And that
A
is where
little
we'll pick
bit.
things up.
Yes,
A little bit. We're kind of hurt.
Gotta
Who
watch
left
out for
that black
puddings.
pudding there?
Whoa.
He jabs at the remnants of the pudding with the non-sharp end of his spear, because he knows what would happen, and it still kind of leaves some residue on the butt of the spear. It kind of sizzles and hisses, and he kind of grunts and says, "Doors this way," in Gnomish, and trudges off into the darkness.
What did he want?
I'll follow him.
Yeah.
All right, it is a short walk from where you are to the main gates of Little Lockford. They are sealed. It looks like this is where basically the militia that attempts to protect Little Lockford has kind of set up a gate post here. There's big, fancy, ornate kind of clockwork gates with all kinds of fancy gears. Honestly, from a mechanical point of view, probably way overkill, but it is fancy and showy, and I guess it's the front door to their whole civilization. And kind of crowded around this giant gate is, in kind of an improvised campsite, are what looks like the rest of the Little Lockford militia. And honestly, they do not look good. A lot of soldiers with arms and slings, crutches, a lot of bandaged heads and hands and whatnot, and they don't look great, but they give you kind of weary nods as you approach in the darkness.
All right. We need to rest for a
Yeah.
little bit. I need to heal Aline and Jason.
Well, I can do hit dice
Hit
at
dice, yeah.
on a short rest. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'd hang on
The
to yours.
the elderly gnome soldier tells you, "Josh, take your time. Take a bit to get the doors open." And he goes around and starts waking up some of his soldiers that were sleeping. So if you want, you can take a short rest. Josh can probably heal some people. You can spend hit dice and basically attempt to recover from your fight with the pudding.
I'm only
Yeah.
down 4 points, but I will spend 1 hit die.
Okay.
I'm up to 31 of 38, so
Are there any of the gnome militia um, so bad off that I need to um, burn any spells?
I'm gonna say no.
No, you might want to save that for your pals.
Yeah. Your injury-prone pals who are about to go into this door that all of them are guarding.
So it seems like we're really going to want to concentrate on stealth and not attacking things.
Yeah.
Depends if you want to fight an army of clockwork monsters to the death.
Obviously, I do want to fight an army of clockwork monsters, Tony. But
Monty, I recommend fighting them one at a time. That's my strategy
Yeah.
for taking down a clockwork army.
and that's not that heroic.
Well, you know what else is not that heroic? Dying in the first fight with a
I
pudding
disagree with that.
before you get to the adventure.
Dying is very heroic.
It
They write
depends how.
songs about people who die.
Yeah, not about people who like step on a nail and get tetanus though. Not yet. You guys
always
didn't bring a
first
bard. Yeah. All right. Have you spent hit dice and done
Yeah.
healing? Is people we've settled the mechanics and bureaucracy of healing
Dungeons
up?
and Dragons, yes.
Of Dungeons and Dragons. All right. After you take a rest, maybe you hydrate, you stretch. You guys probably didn't stretch before you fought that black pudding, right?
No, it
you're
surprised
level
us.
we were
5 now, right?
surprised. Yeah.
You guys got to stretch before a fight, or you're going to be feeling it for days. So the gnomes are getting in place. There are several gnomes that are clearly spellcasters, and they've got kind of black robes with kind of fancy kind of runic symbols woven into them, and they start basically operating the door through magic. I don't know if somebody who is arcane inclined wants to do an arcana check to figure out what they're doing, but suffice it to say the door is clearly about to open shortly.
I'll give it an arcana check.
I'll help.
I'm a magic rogue, whatever you call those.
Yeah.
16.
You have advantage because Jasper helped you, just so you know.
Oh. In that case, still 16.
Still 16. Okay. I think it does not take a lot to realize that they are basically, this is a powerful locking vault mechanism, and they are opening it with the use of the knock spell. And it's actually basically like the lock is so powerful that it's like multiple iterations of the lock spell being cast on top of each other to open this huge vault-like door. As the door starts to kind of creak open, there's just like a blast of hot air that hits you in the face, and you can start to see the gnomish city of Little Lockford through the gates. The elderly soldier kind of grabs you, Josh, by the arm and says, "When it's time to come out, 7 knocks. We'll know it's you and open the door."
Relaying to the team.
Yep.
Any of your spellcasters want to come along with us? Help us out? Josh,
He looks
ask
over at them. Sorry. Josh relays that. The elderly gnome looks over at his spellcaster and says, "What do you think, boys?" The gnomes in robes avoid making eye contact.
I see how it is.
I will say, looking around, the elderly soldier Jasper, he notices your short sword and says, that's not going to get the job done. Take mine, and hands you a short sword that has not been eaten away by a black-footed.
Thank you. That's very generous.
Do me a favor and come back with it someday.
I will do my best.
All right. And so you can now advance into Little Lockford if you so choose. Unless I'm trying to think of a compelling reason that you would not do this.
No, that's why we're here.
That's why you're here. You head in, and basically, as soon as you pass the threshold, the gates start closing behind you, and you are kind of in the outskirts neighborhood known as Old Lockford. It's one of the kind of the earliest parts of the settlement that would become the city of Little Lockford. And there are, looking around, there's some deceased guards here by by the street just where you're coming in, who probably tried to hold the line and you know didn't make it out. The doors to the Underdark are now firmly sealed behind you. Do you all see the map that I have loaded you in?
Yes.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, just some like setting, getting a sense of stuff. Little Lockford is these basically several little neighborhoods, and each neighborhood is kind of on like a little island over, and the whole city is over just like a lake of lava down below. There are drawbridges that connect the various islands. Some of the drawbridges are up, some of them are down. I believe the notes that you got with your map from the mayor indicate some information about what types of buildings or what to expect in the different neighborhoods of Little Lockford. I would be happy to remind you because, in game time, you just got briefed by the mayor. So, yeah.
Well, we have this note here: emergency health potions inside my desk
Yeah.
in the center of
Mm.
Old Lockford. I think we have to go there first.
Yeah.
It's a town
So
hall.
just and clearly right from where you are, like it's there's a bunch of shops and businesses, but there's clearly like an administrative building like in the center of Old Lockford. That if it's not town hall, it's got to be it's town hall. There's no other way to hide that from you. It's clearly town hall. So yeah.
Let us
Um.
let us skulk to town hall.
All right.
Yes.
Does skulk
Skulk-
mean that
skulk.
you want to move stealthily?
Yes.
I
I
think
think we
so.
want to
Yeah.
try, yeah.
Let me ask, other than Krong, who is just the stealthiest stealther that ever did stealth, do any of you have things you can do to increase your ability to move throughout Little Lockford without catching attention?
I don't think I do.
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah. Okay.
Alas.
I can slow fall, but that
If you
Yeah.
trip, you could just
If I trip,
quickly class so fall so you don't make a loud noise when you hit the ground.
Yep.
But I've got a bottle of boundless coffee, so at least I can get there faster.
Okay.
I would like to change my disguise self so I look like a robot.
Oh, okay. Do you want to look like any particular robot, or just you want to look like a Clockwork man?
R2D2.
so-
What are you talking about? We haven't seen any robots yet. So
All
right
right.
now I'm just looking like a generic robot. Once we see one of these guys, I will, look like them more specifically.
Okay. Krong now looks like a Clockwork man. Um, and so I would like each of you to roll a stealth check as you attempt to navigate the Old Lockford neighborhood without catching any attention.
I got an 8.
That's not great, Aline.
Mm-mm.
I got a 10.
7.
18.
All right. Sadly, you do not do very well. As you are crossing the streets of Old Lockford, it is perhaps you're filled with a sense of false confidence because, like, there's no one around. Obviously, all the people escaped from here or died. And so at first and you think maybe, oh, we'll just cut down the street to get right to the to Old Lockford. And coming around the corner and almost bumping right into you is a floating mechanical eye. And yeah.
Wheatley.
I'm just gonna have you all roll initiative real quick.
Great.
Rolling initiative for the eye.
This is going well.
This is going
Oh.
totally how I expected.
All right.
17.
14.
I don't know if I need did anyone beat 19?
I got a 22.
All right, Jasper, you get to go first. Here, I guess I'll put you in the initiative order. Why not? Um, the uh, the Clockwork Observer got a 19, so that's why I asked about 19.
Makes
19.
sense.
So you see a floating eye, Jasper. It comes around the corner and it clearly sees all of you, but you get to react before it does.
I don't know why I'm 0 in the turn order.
Oh, what did you roll?
I rolled
Chip?
a 9.
Sometimes it gets finicky if multiple people are
You
editing
should
it.
be able to put it right in there.
I got you. All right.
Where they haven't
Jasper.
fixed that?
So I'm just gonna look at it and say, "Hi, how are you?"
All right,
kill it,
that's
kill it,
your
kill it,
turn.
kill it, kill
The
it,
Clockwork
kill it.
Observer goes. The Clockwork Observer has no attacks, but what it does do is emit a mechanical shriek that can be probably heard all throughout the neighborhood and most of Little Lockford. It just goes, and you hear it like echoing off the far walls of the cave, and you get the sense that your presence is extremely known here. Krong.
Um, did it see me, or am I still
It
here?
sees all of you. Well, it may not be aware of you. It is certainly. I'm going to say it is reacting to everyone who rolled a 10 or lower on stealth.
Oh, good. Well, the thing is, my microphone just came up off my desk. I would like to attack it with sneak attack if possible.
Yeah, sure. I'm giving you sneak attack.
Oh, good. Just a second. Let me. I guess. All right. What did that do? I rolled a 15 to hit.
15 is just enough to hit its natural mechanical. It says natural armor. I guess it just means built-in armor. Yep.
Well, what if it took 20 damage?
It explodes in a kind of explosion of like metal and sparks and springs and gears, and whatever little part was making the alarm noise like clatters to the ground and goes.
Great. I will look at
The
the
Clockwork
party
Defender, the Clockwork Observer is no more.
and say, hide. And then I will cunning action, hide.
Okay.
Uh,
How far
I'm
are
going to
we
say
from
you
the
no longer
from the town hall?
from the town hall. I'm going to say you made it half the way there. So you're like, you're half a block away. There are no enemies within view of you, but clearly this thing may have notified, you know, other things like it of your presence. If you want to book it for the town hall, you are certainly welcome to.
I'm going to fade into the shadows and proceed to go stealthily towards the town hall. You guys can do what you want.
All right.
I'm going to run to the
let's-
town hall.
Yeah,
As I am
Ravello
not
runs to the town
stealthy.
hall. Josh.
running. Better part of valor.
All right. And Jasper.
Also running.
All right. Let's see here. Here's a map I probably should have just put you on to begin with, but it's okay. So you have made it across the neighborhood of Old Lockford and are, we'll say you've slipped inside the doors of Town Hall. The doors were kind of just hanging open as if, people got out of here in a real hurry.
Nice.
Does the door look like, do the doors look like they're on the hinges, and if I moved them it might be quiet? Or
Yeah, they look like you could seal this place up quietly enough.
Is
so
there anybody in here with us?
Do a quick perception check, Josh.
21.
You sense that there is nobody else in this building with you all.
Right. I like it.
So do we think that they would notice if the door's closed?
Not as much as they would notice if the doors were open and we were
We're
inside it.
moving around.
Yeah.
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 That's my thought too. So I want to close the doors.
We do not yet know if the clockwork automatons have object permanence. So, all right. Jasper, you close the doors. Probably everyone takes like just a deep breath, having, you basically gotten into trouble seconds within sneaking into Little Lockford. In that deep breath, you look around, you see that the town hall is basically just a big administrative building. There's a bunch of benches where maybe people would sit for meetings or waiting for services. There's kind of a long table with chairs at the front, perhaps where somebody would run a meeting from. And then at the back of the building, it looks like there's several kind of administrative-y looking offices.
I want to go toward the offices.
All right. It looks like there's like a mayor's office and maybe a bookkeeper and maybe some kind of administrative assistant. The mayor's office is as big as the other two offices put together.
Well, he offered us some stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Healing potions in the.
So you ransack the mayor's office?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Stashed under the mayor's desk, ready in case of an emergency, but forgotten about in the case of the actual emergency that befell them, is the mayor's go bag. It's a crate, but it's his go crate. In that crate,
He should have brought it with him then.
I mean,
he meant to. He really meant to.
Tony, is this like a commentary on how we are actually not ready for disaster and we need to do more disaster planning? Is that what you're saying here?
Look, I'm just saying it's possible that all of these automatons represent climate change.
Okay. I'm just saying if you've got a go crate or a go bag and then you have to go and you don't take it with you, that's like, don't do it that way. That's not good.
I'm just saying you can put stuff in a crate, but the mind is what must be prepared most of all. But also there's one of the gnomes who has a whole blog about how he doesn't believe in clockwork automatons. So in the mayor's go crate, you're going to want to divvy these items up carefully and keep track of who does and does not have them. There are 4 potions of healing, 2 flasks of alchemist fire, which if you've never encountered that before is basically a Molotov cocktail, and 1 packet, it's helpfully labeled with little instructions of dust of disappearance. There's also a nice calligraphy set, which seems less pertinent to the tasks at hand.
Oh, that's in case you have to write letters about the disaster?
No, that seemed like that was just with his stuff.
Okay, all right.
So the story can be told later on.
I
think that was just for his mayoral duties, and he had like put it on top of his crate of stuff.
I think each of us should take a healing potion because there's 4 of us. That's easy.
That does work out nicely.
And who are the hanger backers among us? Not
I, said the
Not
fly.
me. Yeah.
I mean, in a fight, I do hang back. Like, they can never see me.
Just thinking for Molotov.
The dust of
cocktail
disappearance would be,
purposes.
yeah, he gets Molotov.
I think I have Dust of Disappearance, though. I think I may have picked it up.
Possible you had that from the Prisoner 13 adventure.
Yeah.
Great that you shared it with everybody.
Well, now there's more.
Mm-hmm.
One
I'm putting in
use.
links there for the.
You and each creature and object within 10 feet of you become invisible for 2d4 minutes. Neat.
Yeah.
So we have 2 of
So
those now.
short-term invisibility, not long-term invisibility.
Each
I think
object,
my link.
use it for cleaning up when somebody drops by unexpectedly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Everything in your house gets one little grain of sand.
Yeah.
Sounds
But
great,
then you've got to
actually.
clean up the sand later. So, it's, yeah.
So who wants to hang on to that?
I feel like Krong can
Alchemist
be
fire would-
our master of emergency invisibility, right?
All right.
And
And
if no
then
one
I
else
would
will take
suggest
the
that-
other Molotov cocktail, I will.
I'll take
Right.
the calligraphy set.
Okay,
Nice.
good. That's right.
All right. I think
We-
you have successfully
Hold on,
completed the
one more
task
thing.
of picking up
Ravel-
stuff from mayor's office.
Ravel's going to take a piece of paper and a pen, maybe from the calligraphy,
Mm-hmm.
just maybe from the desk, and write a note and leave it on the desk. And it says, "Dear Mayor, if you're reading this, it's because of your friends, the keys from the Golden Vault.
You guys are
Signed,
a secret
We can't
society.
say that. We can't do
signed,
this.
question mark." No, okay. All
Oh.
right. I cross
We
it out and I
can't
say,
do
from
this.
your friends who are helpful.
Perfect.
Signed, question mark.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to leave it there in the drawer.
Krog spills a thing of ink over
a
the
little
keys to the
secret.
Golden Vault
Just a little
card.
secret.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
For later.
I do not trust Ravel not to mess up the timeline. It would be a horrible time agent. So, all right. Well, you kind of left a. I still can't tell if this is griefing or nice. It's certainly confusing, which is on brand for you all. And I think you have gathered all there is to be found here in Town Hall.
All right.
I don't know what you will do next.
So, what did we learn again about the other locations in town? There's a control area
Mm-hmm.
that's hard to get to.
So the main kind of security control area is in the Overlook, which is on this kind of island built into a stalactite in the center of Little Lockford, which is hard to get to. And if the main thing would be you would take the security key there and turn off all the automatons. You don't have the security key yet, so probably not super useful to go there. There's like a temple on Halfway Isle
with monks barricaded in there, possibly.
Yeah.
That would
Turbine
be my vote.
Heights is kind of to the northeast, which is kind of your upscale neighborhood, which also has like a power plant and some stuff that probably controls some of the mechanical things in Little Lockford. Southeast is Smoldertown, which is where like they do a lot of basically work on the ore, and there's some Tixie Tockworth has her inventing workshop in Smoldertown, and then to the southwest is Cave Mouth, which is where they basically the mining operations for Little Lockford.
And there's the cool
Smoldertown has a thing that says "fail safe is here." What is that?
Sorry, say that again, Monty. Remind me.
Smoldertown has a thing saying "fail safe is here," and there are
so
5 arrows pointed to it.
The security key is in
all right
in
Tixie Tockworth's workshop.
Our main goal is to get to Smoldertown, which is in the southeast.
Yeah,
I want to ride in the
mine carts.
The mine carts.
Yeah.
So they are not mine carts. They're somehow riskier and more dangerous. Instead of safe carts traveling along rickety rails, these are buckets on a long, like a big chain. They call it the slag line. And those buckets kind of, they bob up and down precariously as the slag line takes buckets of ore and processed metals around Little Lockford. The slag line basically it goes counterclockwise. So there is a place you could hop on the slag line from Little Lockford. It would travel to Cave Mouth and then Smoldertown. I think we established that each bucket on the slag line could hold. I think
2.5 people.
2.5 people, right?
And then we argued about what counted as a people.
Yeah, okay. They hold 5 Snurf Neblins or 2.5 medium-sized creatures, which are you.
Okay.
And the slag line is running, so you could, if you wanted, take the slag line. Your options for where you can go from Little Lockford are currently somewhat constrained because the drawbridge to the Overlook is up, the drawbridge to Cave Mouth is up, the drawbridge to Halfway Isle is down. So basically, I feel like your options are either take the bridge to Halfway Isle or take the slag line to point south.
So
but, your adventures, you come up with things that I never would have thought of. It's like, oh yeah, all of you can fly or something.
I do want to go to Halfway Isle at some point and make sure the monks are okay. Just feel like as a monk, I would want someone to do that for me. Sure. I don't know if it's better to do that now or later, but it is something I would like to do.
They may have something that can help us out. They may have manpower that could help us out, or they could be just a drag on us.
More people is more people that can be noticed. We say
Mhm.
light. We say stealthy.
It is worth noting, if there are survivors in Little Lockford, they've been here for several weeks at this point, so they're
Right.
probably not doing great.
Right.
I think we go after the security key.
I agree.
Once
Okay.
we have that.
Yep, that's good.
Then we can
Okay,
say
Tony, we're
All
going
right.
to take a ride in a bucket.
All right.
2 buckets.
Give me a quick perception check. Anyone who wants to look out the doors of the town hall before you just stride out into the street.
I've got
Okay.
+7 to perception.
I rolled a
Josh.
21.
All right, now
24.
Krong, so stealthy, but perhaps his eyes have not adjusted to perceiving things in the distance. He's a special kind of nearsighted. Josh and Jasper, you notice shadows. Those shadows being cast by shapes. Those shapes are kind of canine-looking creatures, and as they kind of come into form, you notice a trio of clockwork dog things moving in formation, kind of aggressively, assertively, patrolling around Little Lockford. One of them stops and is sniffing at the remains of the Clockwork Observer recently dispatched by Krong.
Well, let's go.
The stealthy person says, "Let's go."
Yeah. And the observant people say, there's clockwork dogs out there. Maybe we should wait.
Oh. Oh, they're cute.
Yeah, point them out.
How far are they from the door?
At least 20 or 30 feet away.
Can I keep
they don't
them?
seem to have any particular interest in the building that you're in.
Back away from windows, see if they
Mhm.
pass. That's my vote.
I agree. Unless Krong wants to just secretly murder them all again. I mean, it's not really murder, right? They're just clockwork
I don't want
dogs.
I would never murder a dog.
Ah,
I'll just
okay.
look around and see if I can find a clockwork bone for them.
Mm.
After a couple minutes, the clockwork dogs seem to have finished their patrol and move on. Josh, I'll because you were being very perceptive. It seems
me,
like
actually.
they. Oh, I'm sorry. Ravel seems like they were coming from the east, and they have returned.
Josh wished to.
that
We
way.
were both very perceptive.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You're both very perceptive. And after they leave, you sense the streets are clear, and you dart across the street to the basically a place where you can get on the slag line from Little Lockford. Do you have to do anything to get on the slag line? Is this like a thing where you can just like wait for a bucket and climb on, or are you in danger of like making sure that the
Acrobatics
bucket?
roll.
If-
you know,
Acrobatics roll.
If-
Is there
make sure you don't get in
have
a
to
bucket.
be this tall to get
Yeah,
on
if
the
theme
ride
parks have taught us
side?
anything,
you
it's
have
that
to be
just
this
wait in
short.
the line
You have to
and
be
you
this
step
short.
in.
Yeah. This is not staffed, and probably
Yeah, there's a Smurf
not up
Neblin,
to,
little cardboard cutout
EBT.
Smurf Neblin right there. That's
Yeah.
like, must be this tall. Limit
must
5.
be this short to ride the slag line.
Yeah, limit 5.
I'm
Max
prepared to
capacity
roll an
5.
acrobatics roll regardless of whether Tony wants me to or not.
I'm
I'm getting into this
Monty,
bucket very
have I
fancy.
ever stopped you? Have I ever stopped you? Ever? Please roll your acrobatics roll, Monty.
I appear to have rolled a 16.
Krong jumps up and kind of like does like a loop as he kind of swings himself on the chain and lands in a bucket. It is a big metal bucket. You'd think there'd be like a clang and it would echo all over, but it's soft. It is perfectly silenced as Krong lands in the bucket. The rest of you,
head pops out the top like Kilroy was here. Just
yeah. The buckets are capable of transferring you, but they are clearly intended for carrying ore and metal. So they're not comfortable. There's no seats. They're not ergonomically appropriate for gnomes, let alone you medium-sized weirdos. But I'm going to say that you all get in the buckets without any trouble.
Great.
So Krong was, so there's 4 of you, and do you want to put 2 people to a bucket? Is that how you want to do it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No
Krong was
acrobatics
first.
here.
Krong was first. Who wants to be in a bucket with Krong?
I'll get in the bucket with Krong.
my
All right.
big hairy arms reach out and help you in.
Mm.
Nice. Krong and Josh are in first bucket. That leaves Jasper and Ravel in second bucket. The buckets kind of
Aw,
swing, and you
I'm
could, you are
always
definitely
second bucket.
always second
Oh.
bucket. As the buckets kind of swing away from Little Lockford, you do get that like there's a warm, kind of tingly feeling as you know that your bucket is now suspended just over an open lake of lava. That I mean, I'm not going to say who would rethink their ideas, but definitely it feels different than when you were on the ground just looking at those buckets. Um, but a couple minutes pass as the buckets crank along on the slag line, and you can tell that you are reaching the neighborhood of Little Lockford known as Cave Mouth. There are clearly two kind of stations here where you could get off if you wanted. It's clear that these are mainly set up as a place where they would fill these buckets up with ore coming up out of the mines. But of course, there are no gnomes to do that, and there's mine carts and stacks of ore waiting to be loaded into buckets. But nothing's gonna happen. Do you want to get off and explore Cave Mouth or just keep riding?
The map says don't, but there is a miners guild there. I can't imagine there's anything that we need there more urgently than just getting to the key.
I would allow you if you wanted to do a quick perception check from the
Yeah.
buckets as you
That's
as
what I
you
was going to
close
say
by.
is why don't we just kind of like poke our heads out
Yeah, just look out the window as you go.
just to see get the lay of the land.
Yeah.
18.
20.
guys are-
13.
Ooh.
So good at perception, so bad at stealth.
Yeah.
You're very complicated people.
Except for Krong.
Yeah, except for Krong. Krong, gets it done. Looking at, it looks like Cave Mouth is pretty abandoned. There's mining equipment that's just kind of, left lying in the streets and alleys. It looks like no one's been here for any time. You don't see any sign of any kind of clockwork creatures moving around. There's a bunch of the buildings in the Cave Mouth area look like they're mainly like warehouses. There is clearly one big structure that I think you knew from your map is the Miners Guild Hall. But other than that, it looks like there's nothing going on in Cave Mouth.
Do we notice anything amiss with the with the tram ahead?
Nope. So you want to continue along?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Monty.
Bucket on.
The buckets continue to swing, bob, and sway as you ride the slag line to the east in the direction of Smoldertown.
I am swinging my bucket more than it would otherwise.
All right, you're swinging your bucket more than it would otherwise. Krong, as you swing your bucket actively, that gives you a great view. You can see that there's clearly a place where buckets, and you can see like there's buckets ahead of you, right? There is basically a kind of automated setup at the slag line drop off for Bouldertown, Smoldertown, where basically you can clearly see that the like as the buckets go through the little turning point, something causes the bottom of the bucket to open up, and you can see, you get a sense that there's something hot and probably liquid metal waiting for the contents of the buckets to be dumped into, as this is where the Smoldertown is where the ore would be processed.
It's nice of the mayor to warn us about that.
Yeah.
Well,
What is our earliest opportunity to jump out?
Jump out now if you want.
you could always jump into the lava. It's possible that lava would be a quick death as opposed to the slow death of molten metal. I don't know. I'm not a fire scientist.
Lava.
It seems about the same to me.
Pretty much the same, yeah.
Well, I mean, the lava's further down, so you would at least have like a view. So
Nice.
I'm not a philosopher. So it looks like you could kind of try and scramble out just before your bucket arrives at the what is clearly a foundry here in Smoldertown. Hey, guess what you're gonna need to do to get out of that bucket? Real casual, like
Acrobatics.
check. Acrobatics check.
Hell yes.
Kron, give me an acrobatics check.
Bam.
10.
10.
Bam, 10, you say. Josh, it looks like you rolled a 19. Josh does a perfect tuck and roll out of the bucket, lands next to the foundry. Krong, you land, you kind of, you do not stick the landing. I'm going to tell you, you do something not great to your ankle. You take 4 damage. Jasper, 15. I mean, probably no style points, but you're totally fine.
I'll
Ravel,
take it.
Bam. 6.
6. Just gonna find a bigger die here. And ow, I rolled a d8. I got an 8. Ravel, you land. You possibly have torn your ACL, which they have not invented yet. You have 8. You take
Thank goodness.
8 hit points of damage. Yeah.
All right.
But the good news is none of you got dumped.
Not melted by
into,
lava, so that's good. Or by
melted by lava
iron.
or in the thing. So you are in Smolder Town. Smolder Town is so named because it is the area of Little Lockford where they do all their processing of ore from the mines. And there's just kind of this heavy smell of a hot metal that just, even though you like literally did not go into the foundry, is just hanging like a cloud over this neighborhood. Everything is kind of caked with just probably centuries of grime and soot. And there's, you do notice that there's a few gnomish bodies face down in the street near where you are. Looks like there's a lot of workshops and smithies around you. This is a real industrial part of Little Lockford.
I've made a note on our map where the security key allegedly is. Are we all ready to
the arrow
sneak?
that is down there in the corner?
Yes.
How's the health?
I'm down a little. I'm a 32 of 43. I'm okay.
You're good.
I think an ACL tear would be a lot more than 8. So
Yeah,
that may
I
have
agree.
not been accurate, Yeah.
No, it's
So.
more like I like I don't know. I just landed hard. Landed real hard.
Yeah, hard landing.
It's just a damage to my pride, really.
Yeah.
Hit points aren't just
Yeah.
physical hit points,
Yeah.
I'm a fish man. All of this heat is not my favorite.
Your scales are super dry and like flaky. I don't know.
They don't have fish people down towards like the little underwater volcanoes and stuff.
It's a different. We don't talk about.
But it's
that.
like it's a wet heat.
I'm not from there. I'm from Little Ocean. It's different.
Right. Yeah. Little Ocean. All right. You want to head straight for Tixie Tockwork's workshop?
Yes.
I'll tell
Yeah,
you
we
the
do.
other notable locations in Smolder Town. There is the Foundry, which you avoided going into. There's a variety of workshops and smithies and places like that. There is a noteworthy tavern called the Motherlode Tavern. But it sounds like you are going to go right for Tockworth's workshop.
Yeah.
All right.
Tavern
Do
sounds
I
fun,
have
but there's
a
probably nobody there. So
We're
Except for
mission
robots.
oriented here.
Yeah, I don't know. This is confusing when the players are mission oriented. I don't really know how to deal with it.
we're just doing our job here. We're the keys from the Golden Vault.
Yeah,
I mean, don't
this
tell
is
anybody.
not like
Shh. It's a secret.
every other group. So. All right.
Tony, would you
head
rather I turn
across-
into a lion and just run through the streets roaring? I could do that if you want.
You could do that. It would not be stealthy.
No.
Do you want? Speaking of stealth, do you want to be stealthy as you cross a Smolder Town?
Yes.
I think we should try.
All
Yeah,
right.
Why not?
Give me.
it's
some
got to
stealth.
work sometime.
It's good for a laugh.
It's got to work sometime. Give me a stealth check.
26.
That is a very good roll.
17.
17 is a good roll.
10.
Out of 15.
15 is a good roll. 10 is you could do better. I'm
Bare
gonna say
minimum.
collectively you did enough. You are able to traverse the you notice there are clearly clockwork observers, those floating eyes floating around, and patrols of clockwork defenders, the robot dogs, patrolling around. And so you stick to shadows, you look for your opportunities, and you head over in the direction of Tixie's workshop. Now, as you approach Tixie's workshop, you can see you find it where the map indicated. It's kind of a squat two-story structure. But it looks a little strange. Everywhere that you would expect to see like a door or a window, there's just like a flat pane of metal. Um, and standing in front of the structure, apparently guarding the workshop, is, well, there's no nice way to put it, an 8 foot tall clockwork metal man, which is possibly how Krong will be disguising himself in the future.
Oh yeah, he looks good. I want to look like that guy.
Yeah, he's standing there. He's got kind of like a big metal shield, a big metal axe, and kind of blue glowing eyes that kind of sweep back and forth across the street, looking for interlopers. It has not noticed you yet. Yeah.
So I wonder if there's a back entrance to the workshop or if we've got to go through.
I have mage hand. I could like throw a rock and distract this
Ooh.
guy. We could sneak in while he's looking for whatever it was.
My favorite use of mage hand.
You could also stir a rock with your normal hand too. I'm just saying.
I have mage hand, is what I'm saying. I could magically throw a rock.
My normal hands also could. I mean, not well, but I could.
I have
Ignore that
magic-
voice. That's
I have magic stone. I can throw a magic rock. Okay.
Yeah, but can you throw it with a magic hand? I think not.
No, I can't. I could give it to Krong, and
Yeah.
Krong could throw it with a magic hand, though. That would be awesome.
Wow.
Now we know these things don't communicate via telepathy because that eye thing was making an audible alarm.
It did,
So I
yeah.
could just walk up to this guy and say, "You've been relieved. Go somewhere else." I probably speak whatever language they speak.
Sure. Robot.
Binary, presumably.
Yeah.
Well, it's up to you, Krong.
I'm.
Oh.
Yep.
All right. I will mage hand a rock. And let's see, where's the map? Map is here. We're here. I would like a rock to clatter around over here. Sort of the other
All right,
direction
so
from us around
The opposite direction of you. So you're kind of approaching from the west. You want the to throw a or magically propel a rock off to the east, so that this automaton clanks over there to do that.
That's correct.
Give me some kind of reasonable check to do the thing that you're doing, and we'll see how successful it is.
Okay.
I'd be willing to accept sleight of hand,
I'll go sleight
or
of
just straight up dexterity.
12.
Yeah, I think I was just looking for above 10. It didn't seem like it should be too hard. If you'd done below 10, I feel like something spectacularly bad would have happened. So the rock kind of skips off the cobblestone. The kind of clockwork guardian here that was relatively stationary until now, like its head suddenly goes, and its eyes kind of illuminate, and the eyes basically turn into light sources, and there's like a blue beam of light shooting out from the automaton's eyes, kind of sweeping back and forth on the street, looking for the source of the sound. And the clockwork guardian clomps off to the east to investigate.
Quick. Stealth in.
Yeah. Let's go.
All right. As you stealthily head over to the workshop, the thing that is perhaps very disappointing to you is there's basically steel shutters on every door and window on the workshop. So there is a doorway, a door hole, if you will, but there's not a door in it. There's just a vertical piece of metal blocking the way.
What do I need to check to see how to open it? Investigation.
Yeah.
And also say there looks like
22.
there's a little alleyway here that we can duck into if we hear the
Yeah.
robot coming back.
Yeah. I'm watching the robot.
You're watching the robot. Yeah. No, I feel like you're focused on doing this right. I'm being generous here. What did you roll, Jasper?
22.
All right, you are studying
Nice.
this doorway, and there does not seem to be any kind of switch or mechanism that would be allow you to operate this doorway from the outside. It's possible that it is magic. It's possible it is activated by some kind of remote control or a switch from within. But there is not any. There's not even like a keyhole that you could, put lockpicks in here on the outside. Um, you could use brute force to get in through this door or one of the windows. They all seem similar in terms of the just metal shutters that have locked in place, sealing up this workshop.
Can we see inside at all?
No, they're solid.
Hmm. Is there any little hand-sized openings that we can see?
Do you want to scout around the back and just check every door and window?
Let's do that.
Yes.
Okay.
I've been playing Baldur's Gate. One thing in Baldur's Gate that you do a lot is summon a mage hand and send it inside to find the lever to open the door.
All right. Well, I figured I'd give you the opportunity to get off the street. So scouting around, there does not seem to be there's only one door into this workshop, major fire code violation. There are some other kinds of like windows, or maybe they're even more like just vents, but they are all sealed shut with metal shutters. There's not even a mouse looking at you, Circle of the Moon Druid, could not get into this workshop in its current lockdown configuration. I'm going to say that you, as you're poking around, you hear the guard robot clank back down the street and take up its post in front of the workshop.
Tony, I noticed some of these buildings appear to have chimneys that we're looking down on from above.
They do.
Does this house have a chimney?
This workshop does not. Yeah, I will tell you, the construction of this building seems very different than the little shops and houses around it.
Trying to think if there would be anything in the tavern that would give some clues as entry.
Well, we may need another. I'm using my text adventure skills here to think that there may be another place we need to go first in order to get access to the lab. Tricky. Yes, Tony wants this adventure to
we
continue.
need to go to have access to everywhere else.
I think
We could try to bash in a window. I have to assume that it would set off some kind of alarm.
Yeah, it's also possible that somewhere around here there's a maybe there's like a tunnel that gives access from somewhere else. The investigating another relevant building like the tavern might be a thing to try, just to see if there's a clue.
Or to see if we can find anyone who's managed to hide out and could tell us more.
Maybe
I wonder how melty this metal is.
I would like to cast Detect Magic.
Okay. Let's see. Remind me, what does Detect Magic give you?
For the duration, which is 10 minutes long, it's a concentration spell, you sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. If you sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic, and you learn its school of magic, if any. The spell can penetrate most barriers, but it is blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt.
I think, unfortunately, I guess, I don't think the walls are probably a full foot, so this is not a castle. So I'm going to say, like, you have the weird thing where basically you can't see through the windows, but you can sense magic through the walls. So the key is just don't line yourself up perfectly with a window, because the metal shutters, I'm going to say they're an inch thick. They're heavy duty, but the walls are not a full foot of stone. And you do get the sense, you can sense that there is a variety of magical things inside the workshop. And I think because of how powerful Detect Magic is, you get like outlines or shapes of them, basically?
No, just you can sense the presence of magic, and I can see a faint aura if I choose an action.
Yeah, there are clearly some magical things in here. I'm gonna say based on basically the school of magic, most of them seem to be things specifically uh, robotic type things that are combinations of mechanical and magical creations. It looks like there might be some animated uh, robotic things working on the first floor of this workshop, and you're going to get a hint of abjuration magic coming from the second floor.
But no convenient hidden magic button or anything on the outside of the building.
Uh, no.
All right.
Where next, adventurers?
Well, the tavern is the closest thing of note as far as we're aware.
Yeah, Tavern and
Should
Foundry.
Should we check that out?
And there's no other building around here that's anything like this one. This is a special.
This is a special fortified workshop.
Right. What are these other buildings around here? They're just
They're little blacksmiths and inventing
Okay.
shops, but they're all a single story, and they're much more kind of modest shops and businesses. None of them looks anything like this like squat little fortress that Tixie has built here in the corner of Smolder Town.
okay. Yeah, maybe we should go to the tavern. It's another place we can
right.
look around here. See if we can get some clues.
Give me a stealth check to get across the neighborhood to the Motherlode Tavern.
Oh, I see what they did there.
23.
There you go, Jasper.
14. I have a plus
14.
10 to stealth, by the
Oh
way.
no. Krong 14. Josh, I'm seeing 10. Ravel.
6.
Okay. I'm gonna say that you managed to get there. You know the patrols in this area well enough at this point, and this area does not seem to be as actively patrolled as perhaps other parts of Little Lockford, perhaps because it's so far from the gates. The Motherlode Tavern is a large structure that holds the public house that is, kind of the only destination of its kind here in Little Lockford. There's a sign out front that has like a what does it have? It has a gemstones pouring from like a flagon, and it's got a minor enchantment on it such that the
Minor
gemstones
enchantment.
mm, minor enchantment such that the gemstones kind of animated glitter over and over again, kind of like a neon sign. And yeah, I'm gonna say that you head in because you're not in any hurry to stay on the streets. And you head into into the tap room of the Motherlode Tavern. Like other parts of Little Lockford, it was clearly vacated in a rapid amount of time. There are stools that are knocked over. There are flagons with beer that is, not improved from lying in a pool for three weeks on the floor of the tavern. Doesn't smell great. You step over a half-eaten mushroom sandwich right by the door and are looking around. It just kind of, it looks like everybody got out of town real fast. And give me a perception check.
21.
11.
All right.
4.
4. Everyone else is just glad to be off the street and not fighting clockwork dogs. Jasper, you notice far across the room, almost cloaked in shadows, seating at one of the big central tables in the Motherland Tavern, is a kind of small form sitting there drinking.
Okay, I'm gonna point the figure out to my coworkers. And having learned my lesson from the clockwork, I'm not going to say anything.
Chip,
You're
you're muted.
Has the figure noticed us?
The figure has not noticed you. The figure seems kind of just wearing a cloak, a hooded cloak, clearly drinking from a flagon. Seems very apparently somewhat preoccupied / unaware of your arrival in the Motherlode Tavern.
I would like to stealth up behind it.
Mm-hmm. Give me a stealth check, Ron.
All right. 21.
All right, Krong, you get very, very close to this figure when suddenly something starts beeping. The figure whirls around and holding what could only be some kind of proximity device. And this creature is a gnome, a gnomish woman, but she stares at you with kind of red, robotic eyes.
Oh
One of
boy.
her arms ends in basically a sword. The other one is a shield. Her hooded cloak falls backward, and you are staring kind of face to face with one Tixie Tockworth. She is looking at the
Oh.
beeping thing on her wrist that you set off with your proximity, and she just kind of cricks her neck and says, "Break time's over," and that is where we'll end for tonight.
We found the
The big
boss on the second night.
Yeah. I
Great.
mean, what was that what you meant to do? Unclear.
Pretty
But that is
efficient
what
of us.
you did.
She probably
Will
has the
Krong be eviscerated by Tixie Tockworth?
What?
Does Tixie Tockworth have convenient means for getting into her own workshop? Will they successfully find the key and liberate Little Lockford? For answers to questions such as these, tune in next time to Total Party Kill. Thanks for going to the tavern. I didn't know you'd ever go there in this adventure.
Tavern.
That's the tricky thing with a stealth based open-ended adventure. It's like, they could stealth all over and never run into the boss. They don't have to.
Right.
So, stop by the tavern down the street from her workshop, and there she is, drinking by herself. So, yeah.
I knew when we saw it, was like, who else would be hanging out by themselves?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping it was one of the monks.
Just passing time. Live stream / bootleg. Thank you for listening. We plan to be back in, I believe, 2-ish weeks on Tuesday, July 16th is when our Tockworth's Clockwork adventure will continue.
Yes.
You said
Probably
that
not
very
culminate,
fluently.
but I'm getting better. Tockworth's Clockwork.
Tockworth's
but yeah.
Clockworks.
Thank you for listening or watching or engaging with our content in whatever way you chose to.
Thank you for engaging. Goodbye.
Jason, bye. I guess that's Jason saying he's taking